It is possible for you to build this coaching business and for you to be successful at it, but you don't have to do it alone. In fact, I don't recommend it. In this video, I'm going to share my secrets for how I built my team while I was still working my full-time job and how you can do the same. Hey, CourtneyLSanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time certified 7-figure life and business coach, as well as CEO, wife, and mom. I truly wear all the hats and do all the things, but my little secret is that I have a team. But here's another secret. I've had a team since the very beginning, at least on a small level, even when I was working my full-time job. Yes, I was building my team even then, and I recommend that you do the same, especially if you're a corporate leader, especially if you're just a woman in business, right? We have family responsibilities typically and lots of things going on outside of work. And so it is possible for you to build this coaching business and for you to be successful at it, but you don't have to do it alone. In fact, I don't recommend it, right? I recommend that you work with others. And so in this video, I'm gonna share my secrets for how I built my team while I was still working my full-time job and how you can do the same. All right, step one, which is really like step zero, the first thing that you have to do before you start investing in team members is you have to figure out what it is that you are selling. And I would actually recommend attempting to sell it, right? We don't want to build this whole operation or spend all this money on a team for a product or service that the marketplace actually doesn't want. Now, people often think that it requires more than it does in order to make your first sales. If you've come up with a profitable problem, right, which I talk about in other videos, you can check one video right here or here, wherever it comes out on the screen, where we talk about how to come up with those profitable problems. But if you have identified that, you can just work with someone one-on-one. I mean, even just as simply as saying like, hey, I'm gonna coach you for 6 weeks or for 8 weeks to get this particular transformation. You can literally make up the coaching program week to week as you go. As long as you just stay a week ahead of the person that you're working with, you can think of this person almost as a beta client. You might even be able to give them a beta rate because this is your first go around. So I just say that to say it's not as difficult as you tend to make it out to be. I know a lot of people think that they need, all their websites and stuff set out before they can, even sell something, and that's not the case. I mean, if you can tap into your network or start going to networking events or leveraging LinkedIn, you would be amazed at how many people you can find who are interested in the services that you have to offer. But regardless of what you do, you want to make sure that you know what it is that you're selling, and you want to validate that you can actually sell it, because you're going to use the revenue from those first initial sales in order to build out your team. So that's what I did. When I first made my first few sales, I didn't run out and quit my job. In fact, I was averaging at the time between $6,000 and $8,000 a month in my business while I was working my full-time job. But instead of quitting right away, I used that money to invest in not one, but 2 contractors to help me with things like graphic design, customer service, social media, etc. And so they helped me do that while I was still working my full-time job, and it really helped me grow my business. But I was using the revenue that I was generating from those first initial sales in order to pay them. So step number 1/step 0 is you got to get clear on what it is you're actually selling. All right. So once you're clear on what it is that you're selling and you got a little money coming in the door, you'll want to start small first. You would be surprised. You can hire people for as little as 2 hours a week. I know that sounds ridiculous. Who would, even waste their time working in your business for 2 hours a week? But people do. You can work with someone even for 10 hours a week, 20 hours a week. It doesn't have to be this big full-time thing. It certainly doesn't have to be an employee. You can work with contractors. There's actual companies that will allow you to buy hours for particular services. So if you need a content writer, you can buy 2-hour blocks at a time or 4-hour blocks at a time. If you need someone to handle customer service, if you need a virtual assistant, start small and literally buy just what you need. So again, this is why I recommend at least initially attempting to sell something at first, because when you sell that, you will see what the fulfillment legwork is. Oftentimes in our businesses, because we're so anxious to replace our corporate income and to get the heck up out of there, we're only thinking about the revenue. What do I need to do in order to get the sale to come in? But guess what? Once the sale that comes in, that doesn't mean your work is over. You now have to fulfill on the product or service that you sold, and you have to support that client. And so if you make those first few sales, you'll have a better understanding of what the workload looks like on the back end, but also what the workload looks like on the front end in order to get that client. And from there, you'll have a better understanding of how many hours or so it's taking you to do all of these various things in your fledgling business. And then you can work with someone to support you and start to pick up the slack so that you can focus on doing more of those revenue generating activities. Now, one of my favorite strategies for this that I still use to this day, and I highly recommend that you do the same, is go international when you are looking for contractors. No, you don't physically have to hop on a plane and go see them, even though I do. I have part of my team that's actually based in South Africa, and I host my retreat once a year where I meet my team that's based down there, as well as invite different clients out to learn from me about how to scale their business. So if that's of interest to you, you can click the link below to join the wait list, because as I'm recording this, we're getting ready to open up spots for our next upcoming South African Cape Town retreat. But that's neither here nor there. I've worked with people from all over the world. I've worked with people in the Philippines, in Singapore, in the UK, in Canada, in Mexico. Wherever it is on the planet, I've probably worked with contractors and different vendors there to help me grow my business. And part of the reason why I love working with people internationally is because you get to take advantage of the time zones. Yes, I cannot tell you, there is no better feeling than providing some work, at the end of your workday, and then waking up and finding that it has been handled for you. That is just so amazing. And so I love to leverage particularly contractors that work on the opposite side of the world, because they're on opposite time. So I can close my day out by delegating different things, and then I wake up in the morning and it's taken care of. And so this was really, really helpful for me when I was working my full-time job, because during 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 or so US hours, I was occupied on my job. I just had that one lunch break. And so it was really great to have people who could have all of that stuff queued up for me while I went to work, and then that evening they were taking care of it. So make sure you go international. There are so many different websites that you can look at, different international contracting websites. You can also reach out to different universities and schools in different countries and reach out and see if there's students who are interested in perhaps working in your business. There's also international intern websites that you can go to in order to find interns who are willing to work 10 hours a week or so, and they, get credit towards school. So there's a variety of different ways that you can do this. It doesn't have to be terribly expensive. And again, you get to take advantage of that time zone while you're at work. You have people who are doing those things for you. All right, I have more where that came from, but first I want to hear from you. Have you ever considered building a team while you're still working your full-time job? Share in the comments below. All right, my next favorite tip for finding team members, even to this day, so obviously I haven't worked a full-time corporate job since 2016. I left Labor Day 2016, yes, if you can believe it, and I haven't looked back since. But back then and even now, when I'm looking to bring in new people into my business or to find new people to hire, I always tap my network. I think we just think our friends are just our friends, right? Your friends are useful. Make good use of your friends. Like, yes, they are a shoulder to cry on and, fun to go to concerts and brunch and vacation and all these things with, but they know people. And even if they don't know people, they know people who know people. So you have to be open about what it is that you are looking for, but I can speak from personal experience that the best people I have ever worked with, the best people that are working in my company today as we speak, have come by way of referral. And so I find that referrals are really powerful, because anybody can say anything on, a resume or on a website or what have you. But for me, I find that what I'm looking for are sometimes intangibles. I'm looking for a positive attitude. I'm looking for someone who shares my same work ethic and same values and is really appreciative of the mission of what we're trying to build. So yes, you could find anyone who might have a particular skill set that you're looking for, but it's very difficult until they're already working in your business, and then maybe you find out that they're not a good fit. It's very difficult on the front end to really find if that person just kind of gels with what you are doing and the type of person that you are and what you are trying to create. And so I find that if you're able to tap your network, even if you don't know these people, your network might know people, or they might know people who knows people who can then give you referrals for that whole 360 view that you're looking for. So not just do they have the skill set, but do they have the mindset? Do they have the right attitude? Do they have the right work ethic? I have found that tapping my network of friends and business colleagues has yielded just the best results in terms of finding very, very talented people who are willing to work in my business and support me and the different things that I do. So going along with that, the next tip that I recommend is also to find people in transition. Oftentimes we think about all the things that we don't have, right? Oh, well, I'm still working my full-time job and I'm building this business on the side. Who would want to work for me, right? Or who would want to work with me on my fledgling little company? But you would be surprised that there's other people who are also in transition. Maybe there's somebody else who also works a full-time job and is looking to transition into a particular service industry, and they would have no problem doing graphic design for you on the side, or doing transcription work on the side, or copywriting or whatever, because doing the work for you is what's gonna allow them to pursue their dreams of transitioning from their corporate job. So look at other people who are like you, who have, complementary skill sets, and that's often a pool that you can really dive into and pull from. Also, as a mom myself, I find that working with other women who are extending their maternity leave, and they're like, you know what, I really don't want to go back to corporate America, or at least not yet. I have this newborn baby, I want to be at home with my child. I have a few hours during nap times or what have you. Maybe they have a babysitter, or their husband or partner or somebody is there available for them at the time. Maybe they have a mom that lives with them, or grandparents, whatever. And so they have all this free time. They're still recovering, from giving birth to a little human, but they want to do some work and really flex their skill set. I find that women who are, just coming out of giving birth and who are taking some time off are oftentimes some of the best people that you can work with. So shout out to my fellow moms, right? I think moms don't give enough credit. I'm like, you know what? If you need something done, right, hire a mother, because a mother is gonna know how to get it done with all the different things that are going on. So especially if you're a mom yourself, then that means that you're already plugged in to a variety of different mom groups. You're probably attending play dates. If your kids go to school, Mother's Day out, preschool, etc., you're always connecting with other women who might be working on a part-time basis or have some downtime, and they're looking to get into something more flexible. So again, you don't have to be a huge company that's offering major benefits in order to find someone who's willing to work for you. You don't even have to be running your business full time. If you look at all of these different options, find people who are in flexible situations themselves, or who are in transition, find people who come from your referral network, find people who are overseas, and then find people who are willing to work fractionally and use the revenue generated from your sales. You would be surprised at how quickly you can build the team so that you're able to step into your company after you leave your corporate job. So if you're wondering how to get started in all of this, in fact, you're very nervous, you're like, oh, this all sounds great, but I don't want to build it too big. I don't want my boss to find out, etc., etc. I actually invite you to join my free webinar. It's a brand new training that I've just done. You can click the link below to sign up for a time that works for you. It is 45 minutes, so I am going to recommend that you set that time aside, but I go in depth, and I even share my iceberg strategy to branding that will help you grow this business without ratting yourself out if you think that it might be an issue, shall we say, for you building your business on the side while you're in corporate America. So go ahead and click the link below in order to learn more about that. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this gives you some fodder to think about. No, you don't have to build your business alone, even if you're building it on the side. So if you can't wait for my next YouTube video, make sure you're subscribed to my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show, on both iTunes and Spotify. And if you can't wait for my next podcast episode or my next YouTube video, make sure you are following me on both Instagram and LinkedIn. I am active on both. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.